The pipe comes in through the wall here. Make sure you put a lot of support brackets up there. I use Unistrut and 3/4 inch clamps. You can get those at Lowe's. Make sure you put one every, I'd say 6 feet should be good enough. We follow it over to the back of the walls here. And this is where Growers of the Best whip kits are installed. It's a pretty universal kit. Comes with everything you need to install one of these. Someone with basic plumbing skills or knows how to use glue could install this system. First thing you see in the system is zone 1 here. Each zone has its own shutoff. This is important, so if you have a genetic that goes 10 weeks or 9 weeks, and then you have something that's 8 weeks, you could shut down the zone and irrigate only just that zone with the GrowLink controller, but we'll come to that later. So right now all the zones are open. Moving further down the line here, hand water spigot. This is particularly nice during transplant. You're not going to irrigate with automation right from transplant. So if you're using rock wool or cocoa, you're going to probably pre-soak your things with a watering wand to get them going, and then you'll stick your drippers in there and evenly distribute the solution. You want it to be fully saturated before you even transplant or start. Next is the middle zone. It's the same thing as the first one, along with the last zone here. What's nice about this system is that if you had another room, the next room over, you could put a T there and continue right through the wall and go right to the next room. What else? Each one of these valves is controlled. 2 wires here. You're gonna run these both back to your controller, whether you're using a AquaX or a GrowLink controller. In this video series, we'll be using GrowLink to crop steer from start to finish. So the irrigation system you're seeing is pretty simple install. Highly recommend the kit from Growers of the Best. Makes it a lot easier to get a room up and going. You don't have to think about it. The valves he provides are really nice because if you ever had a failed solenoid, you can replace it without having to replace the whole valve, taking the whole system off the wall. From what I read, these are actually pretty fail-proof. The only thing that really fails with irrigation systems, honestly, is if you don't have the proper filtration. So what I liked is he put a filter on each one of the zones. You can just, after once a week, I highly recommend just pop these off and check them. So if we look at the zone kit again, it comes right back in. After the valve, you have your filter, and then this is a pressure regulator. So the idea is that you have 50 PSI in the main line. When the solenoid opens with the software controller, the pump back at the other room will sense that there's a drop in pressure and turn on, and it'll irrigate. This here is to put 25 PSI on the actual line set. Off of each line set, you're gonna have a T that tees into this and connects to this line set here. Make sure it's an entire loop. At the end of every loop, you're gonna have an air bleed valve. He provided that in the kit for me. That's just to let the air out of the system before you irrigate, which is kind of important if you're really trying to dial in your crop. You want to make sure that you don't have 5 seconds, 10 seconds of air in your lines when you're calling for a feed and you're thinking you're watering for 30 seconds a shot when you're actually only watering for 20. You're going to have dryback issues and be chasing problems, and the system will not be even. So definitely put the air bleeder valves on the system. Pretty easy to set up.